Are we ever too?
Hey, so welcome to Come As You Are. Your girls are live on YouTube. Technical difficulties. We got it together. So come on in. Okay. We got it together today.
Yes, we do. We're live on YouTube.
Hey. I had to go through YouTube and I had to like do my little Google work, right? So I had to do a little test video earlier and I got it together. So let's come on.
Thank you, Sarah.
So I feel like, listen, I know because I've been slacking.
Let me tell you.
The shade.
I'm gonna be eating during this episode, but I'm gonna mute myself as I eat. So don't worry, nobody will hear it.
That's okay. Go ahead and do it because we like to hear you eat
and watch.
Oh, is that what we're doing?
No.
Yes, I am.
As you eat, I will drink.
Oh, okay.
I have my Knob Creek Old Fashioned.
I mean, as the people know, we come as we are,
and
this is where we're at with it today.
It's halfway
through the week. Rare mother freaking form, okay?
That's how we are tonight, honey.
Can you see my special made cup? It has my name on it.
I can't read it, but it's
nobody can.
A pretty color.
At least you know, because she was trying to show you.
First of all, I'd like to say you ladies look beautiful. I like the setup today. I can see your faces. That makes me really happy. I just wanted to say that.
Behind us.
Listen, I'm giving you white girl rock star vibes. That's what I'm trying to give off today. I even have my little white person shirt on.
I love that shirt. I love Nirvana, and
I'm giving you all of my white side. It's not racist.
Not just white people like Nirvana. What are we saying here?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that I'm giving you this white, like 70s hair style situation going on.
Okay.
Well,
it's very whitish for me. That's how I'm feeling. Very whitish.
As an also half white person, I was trying to do my bun is not bunning. Look at. I think that's the white part. You're supposed to have a very lopsided. Not making sense.
Mama said knock you out.
But thank you, Paula.
Sorry, anyway, I'm moving on because I don't know what's happening here.
Okay, so let's talk about it. Okay, so I was listening to the radio today. Okay. Mm-hmm. And this 28-year-old called in and said that he was dating a 48-year-old woman. Mm-hmm. Right? He wants to take the relationship to the next level, but he was like, she's not acting her age at 48. He says that she posts pictures that are kind of like thirst trap pictures. So then the question was posed to him, well, did she get you with these thirst trap pictures? And he said, yes.
That's what I was about to say.
So, and she goes to the club with her daughter and she enjoys life. She's been married for 14 years. She's no longer married. And so now she's trying to enjoy life, right? So the question is, for you personally, what is too old to date for you or too young to date at the age you are right now? And he was saying that, she should dress more down when she posts pictures because too much is for social media, right?
First of all, I'd like to say that has nothing to do with how old she is.
So I was like, okay, I had to think about it, right? Because I've never dated anyone younger than me. I've always dated people older than me, right? But now that I'm 40, maybe I want to feel more youthful. Because, see, I feel like, at 48, she was married for 14 years. So she probably got married early in life, right? Didn't really go hang out because she was being a wife and a mother, right? Now she gets to go out and enjoy life because she's no longer, her kids are older, she's no longer married, but she want to feel young.
I kind of want to touch on that because I feel like she's exploring a new aspect of herself. Mm-hmm. And he just may not be ready for that. And there's nothing wrong with him not being ready for that and expecting more. But if he's not okay with where she's at in her life, then he just maybe needs to.
But I also feel like he's sprung. He got that cougar for JJ. He don't know that, right?
So I will say that, like, obviously, like, I feel like people want to settle down or like change their life around at like different points, but I feel like it's very common around your 30s, and I think he's like just there. He's 28 years old, and he's at the point where he's like, oh, like, I want to slow down and maybe not party so much, and I just want to like maybe think about starting a family or like just whatever. And he wants his growth to be respected, but he's not respecting or accepting her growth or where she is in her life. And so she's at a point in her life where she's like, I did all that and I'm still feeling young, or maybe she had kids young, or maybe who knows. And she's like, this is my opportunity to like really lean into like partying and have a good time. And my daughter's with me and she wants to do it. And I'm up for it. And I just like, I don't know. I think that if he's going to enter a relationship with her, he has to accept her as she is.
I mean, if that's how he got her,
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Then that should be accepted. I think I don't know if is it him ready to settle down, or is it him feeling insecure because he knows that someone his age is probably looking at her the same way that he was looking at her, and he's afraid that it might be better to him and she gonna step off of that person.
100%.
I think it's a combination.
Yeah,
It could be a combination.
I think she threw that thing on him, right? He ain't never had that thing before, right? And he don't want nobody else to have that thing. So he like, okay, well, I want to take it to the next level, only for the simple fact that I don't want her posting these thirst trap pictures, because I don't want the men that, it brought me in, it's going to bring other people in. So now she's having conversations with other men, but at the end of the day, she's 48, you're 28, sweetheart. So you're at a point in your life where, yeah, maybe you're at where she was when she got married and she had kids and blah, blah, blah. But
I don't know, man. I feel like if you're in a situation like this and you want to date older or younger, you kind of have to have a mindset of what is to come.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Okay,
like, so there may be somebody that's like, let's say 28, but he or she may not be your typical 28-year-old. That person may be like, have a 40-year-old soul,
okay,
been doing all types of things since forever, but it's just like that mature, whatever, and is ready to settle down and all this other stuff. And it could work. I see it work. You know what I mean? But then you could have your 28-year-old who just likes an older woman. Maybe it's mommy issues. I don't know. Maybe it's the money, sugar mama. I don't know.
But also, if he's going to want to experience the things that a 30-something-year-old is going to want to experience at that point where you settle down and you want to have a long-term relationship with someone, and she can't or doesn't want to provide him that, then he's looking for it in the wrong places. He's creating a relationship that is going to fail or is going to be toxic, because neither of them is going to be able to do what the other one wants.
Right.
Yes, because I'm 40, about to be 41, and there's no way I'm having nobody else's kids.
No.
1, 2, like I just came into this.
You not having nobody else's kids?
Hell no. My son is 13.
You mean like birthing them out yourself?
Yeah, no. Like I'm not birthing any more children at 41.
I'm not birthing any children, to be honest.
Right? So like
I don't
you have to
baby mamas neither.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. So when you come into a situation like this, right? What is too young for you? Because I don't want to stop you from wanting to, go into the things that you want for your life and that realm or whatever the case may be. But I'm not having any more children.
No.
So I'm not the woman for you. Now, if you want to help raise my 13-year-old, he has a father. But if you want to play stepdaddy, then okay. And if you want to play stepdaddy to my whole grown daughter, then fine. But I'm not having any more.
Who's 7 years younger than you?
Yeah.
I think ultimately, like, what they would need to do is really sit down and have a conversation about what their expectations are in a relationship and see if there's any sort of common ground at all.
Yeah.
And it sounds like he is looking for the experience he hasn't had yet that she's already had. And he just needs to go for someone that's more his age, or if it's an older woman who is still at that stage where she still wants to be kind of settled down, and there's nothing wrong with either or. But I think, like Sarah said, he got roped in and he doesn't want anyone else to have what he's experienced.
She threw that thigh out on his ass. And so, that's what happened.
And so he wants to lock that part of her in, but also wants what comes with that for him, and is not accepting of where she's at with her life. And I'm not saying either is right or wrong, but I just don't see it mixing. I just don't.
Personally, me, I can't see myself dating anybody younger. I'm not saying like I would not, but it just hasn't. Nobody who's younger than me that I've met, I feel like I could do anything with other than have a good time. I've always dated someone who is 4 to 5 years older than myself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And just because I'm 41 doesn't mean that I act 41. So I feel like if I was to get with somebody who's younger than me, they would probably think that I was as young as they are just by how I act sometimes. You know what I mean? So
yeah, if I was in the dating world, I could not see myself in a serious relationship with someone younger. Because one, I don't want to have more kids, and they might. Like, if they don't want to have more kids, that could be
established,
that could be a possibility. But then also, I don't know if they're going to be okay with, me being older and past the bullshit. Okay, I'm just call it what it is. Where I'm past the bullshit of the like over talking, the emotional stuff, the like, how can we work this? No, we're either going to just like hash it out and be good and move on, or are we really going to sit in this place where I was 10 years ago, where I need to talk about our feelings and how can we move past
okay
it?
So like, let's go past the whole dating situation, right? Are you going younger to be sexual with?
That's what I was saying. Like, if
it's a sexual aspect, is it too young or too old? What's going on? Which bracket are you preferring?
I'm out here scared of the dick, so
no. Liar, pants
I
on
don't
fire.
want none of the dick.
I don't know. Like, if it was sexual, I feel like I honestly I feel uncomfortable even looking at anything younger than 35, and I'm 42, and not to say that someone under 35 couldn't like meet the criteria. I don't even know what that criteria really is. But all right. But the older the better, honestly. Like, the older the better. And when I say older, like, I feel okay with even up to maybe 60s.
Really?
Yes.
I don't know. I've been following this group of old men on TikTok. They're like in their 60s and 50s. If I had someone approach me like that, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I think I got a cap at 50. I don't mean to cut you off. My bad.
Look, the thing is,
my
like,
cap is 50.
and I understand that, but like, even past 50, like, I just kind of I come into contact with a lot of like older men in my job, right? And so and single men, and they've been married and they've been through
their balls grabbed,
and they kind of just are okay with where they're at. They just
How's your food, baller?
they really just want to have a good time with somebody. At the end of the day, they just really want to have a good time, okay?
Right.
And so that sounds great. Like, it's just, let's just have a good time. There's no like extra serious, overly emotional stuff attached to this. And
right. So you're saying that if they're like 60, right? But see, a lot of older men date younger women to help that youth fountain keep flowing.
Yeah, but they also are a little overwhelmed with the over expectations, depending on how much younger they go. Like, for example, I've recently come into contact with a couple there was a 30-year age gap, but she doesn't work. He works and he makes 6 figures.
Of course not. I'm not working if it's 30 years.
And so
you better be
and they have kids, and she's content. But you can definitely tell who runs the household. It's not him.
Clearly.
So I get that, he's probably having his wild oats sowed in one aspect, but I could also feel this like tension with her. Like, she hates him.
Oh.
He hates him, but he makes the money.
Right.
So it's almost like she's like, I'm gonna go ahead and deal with this.
I mean, at this point, I don't know. Like, the way my dating life been, I don't know. If it comes to it, I might let him lay on top of me and handle his business. Hey, pay the bills. I just want a partner at the end of the day. A friend, a partner, someone that,
An occasional hangout is kind of where I'm at. Like, if I was in the dating world, I'm okay with occasional hangouts. But the work you have to put into a long-term marriage, it really is a lot. And I just don't.
Sorry, guys. Oliver pulled up. Give me a second.
Hey. Listen, this is our special guest every week. If you don't like dogs, you don't need to tune in, because Oliver is our what did they call
our podcast pet?
No, what's the
thing? A mascot.
Thank you. Let's play charades, and I'm gonna
Sorry.
lose every single time because I'm not gonna know how to put it together. But there we go. He is our mascot, okay? And he is one cute little mascot.
He's protecting his home right now. Give me a second.
Exactly.
Right. He had to
He has
second that
spoken.
motion.
Only because I said he want him a little young thing.
And he said, "And I am."
Look, she can't talk because Oliver's still barking.
Okay, so Navita, do you
Okay.
have an age cap for
Yeah.
yourself?
How old are you going?
How old am I going?
Mhm.
I would say 50, 55.
Okay.
How low am I going?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 38.
I understand that.
Okay.
35, maybe 30. I mean, it just really depends. There are people out here. Nah, I ain't doing 30.
See,
No.
I feel like when you
I
when
really
you
don't
put a
know.
cap on there, I feel like you take away. Like I'm not going to nobody that's like 21. My
No,
daughter's
I
20,
really
right?
don't have like a cap
But-
on a younger age because I guess I'm just not mentally interested.
But let me tell you, I have met some really well-established younger gentlemen, right?
Mm-hmm.
That you wouldn't even know was in their 20s. And just off of the strength that, like, if you think about yourself, well, I think about me when I was 16, right? I wasn't 16. Like, I was older.
I mean,
like,
yeah, I was
like
16 dating
I-
somebody.
exactly. But if you think about it, like at 20 something years old, let's say 27, 28, right? Like this young man that was calling in and he was dealing with this lady, his girlfriend is 48, right? He probably has a really nice job because a lot of people now coming out of college and so forth establish themselves, right? Nobody's playing around anymore, right? Because times ain't the same, numbers ain't the same. People trying to make money, they trying to get out of their parents' house. Now, if
I
you
don't
meet
know. These days, these motherfuckers gonna stay there, but sorry to interrupt.
that'd be the older one. So listen, if you come and you meet somebody that's like 28, 29, he don't tell you how old he is, has a gift for gab, has his own place, his own car, he has no kids. Maybe he doesn't want kids, right? Everybody don't want kids. Not mad, but everybody don't want kids. And he tries to talk to you, and he's respectful in the way that he confronts you with it, and just asks you on a date, right? Because a lot of times, do we sit up here and be like, "Well, how old are you?" Especially if maybe he doesn't look 28, 29. Maybe he looks a little older.
No, I
So-
always ask the age. I'm sorry.
You asked him off the break.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
How old are you?
Let me see
Well,
ID.
Listen, so I come in my field where I work, I come into contact with a lot of young men who are already like making great money. I'm just like,
Exactly.
listen, I'll be like, what the fuck have I been doing with my life?
But
I've been fucking up. But they're so like very respectful, polite, kind.
exactly.
Once or twice I kind of got a like flirty vibe, but I kind of dodged that. But I also thought to myself, like, what am I gonna do with you? And not like if I wasn't married, like what? I'm not even thinking
Right.
I actually would. But I also feel like you're in a part of your life I can't, and they'll be close to my oldest son's age. And I'm like, hell no.
So the initial,
Hell no.
the
Okay.
initial attraction for me would be the fact that, you know what I'm saying, it's the flattery, the
Mhm.
interest in me.
Mhm.
But as a conversation goes on, and this person isn't really like, the conversation isn't really grabbing my attention,
Mhm.
and the only thing that I can think of is possible. Well, the first thing that I think of, just because of the situation, is this person's age. I feel as if I can't connect with this person because of his age. The
Mhm.
things that's coming out of his mouth is because of his age. You know what I mean?
Right. But I have
Like-
known 30 and 40-year-olds that act like they're 19.
I agree.
Right. So I feel like age is like when they say age is just a number, sometimes it
is.
applies only
Absolutely.
because of the way that that person carries themselves. Right.
I mean,
But
yeah.
there's sometimes a difference between there's like a huge difference between maturity and immaturity.
Yeah.
And then also being able to relate to things and experiences we've had as
Right.
our age group, shows that we've watched, movies that we've watched, like cultural things that we experienced while we were growing up, that people that aren't our age or aren't close to our age will ever relate to or understand or have
Well.
experienced. And so maturity and immaturity might not be age related, it might be specific to the person, but the experiences we've had and we can share and relate to do matter based on how old you are.
Right.
And yes, and let me say yes and no, right? Because the things that I've experienced, there's not a lot of like I'm not gonna say a lot. There's people who have experienced.
You got
things
a
I've
lot of
experienced,
experience.
right? But
got a
I
lot
was
of-
just say I've been around the block a few times.
Okay, Jenny, blah, blah, blah.
But
They call her
but
Marie.
there are guys that are my age or a little older who have been coddled their entire life, right?
No, like they need to
So,
take the titty out the
Listen,
mouth.
that's still got the titty in their mouth.
Stop calling your
They're-
mama every 5 minutes.
and they're in their 40s and 50s,
Yeah.
right? And so the reality is that when you're so dependent on your mother or your family because they've coddled you in such a way, we can't relate anyway because I've been having to do for myself for a very long time.
Sorry to interrupt. Is it coddling or is it?
No,
just
it's coddling.
Can I finish?
Sorry.
Is it
Rockabye baby belly. I'm sorry. I had a belly movie hit my head.
Is
Sorry.
it coddling or is it the fact that sometimes the only people that you can trust is your mother?
No, it's the only people that you're willing to trust.
No,
Agree.
actually, so I want to just and
Because you
again,
won't allow nobody
touch
to come in.
so
Oh,
again,
touch it.
in my field,
Touch
I've
it,
come
little big
across
thing.
some
Busta
older
Rhymes,
single
sorry.
men who are newly like separating, divorcing, and they're like in their 50s, right?
Where are you meeting these people?
Listen, where I
Oh,
work,
okay.
okay.
Well,
I don't wanna-
I needed a lunch date.
I'm mad I
Okay, I'm
said
sorry.
that.
Go ahead.
But yeah, so like they're newly single or separating, and they're in their 50s or up,
Mhm.
and you can tell they haven't lived by themselves probably since their 20s, if they ever lived by themselves. They need a lot of hand holding, explaining
man.
to, and the thing is, they make good money. They
Of
make
course.
extra, like really good money, but they're so
What's the
lost.
apartment number?
But you know, you know,
knock,
this is
knock, knock.
this is how you know that
room service.
the woman in their life
Right.
was
The main
handling shit.
did everything. Yeah, and then
Handling it.
sometimes, and that may be a lot of the reasons why a lot of men are more codependent on their mother or even father, you know what I'm saying, because of their relationships. Because, you know, once the relationship go bad, you know, who do you go to? Who do you call? Your
First of
mother.
all, okay.
Mom
So
is
I
always
feel
gonna
They
be
be
there.
lost, and I feel like I'm doing a lot of hand holding sometimes. I'll be
Mhm.
like, "Sir, you're 52." But
you know what? Sometimes
It's
I feel
okay.
like I can't relate, right? Because I didn't have parents like that. So I mean, I had my aunt, not to discredit that, but I'm saying like the people that actually gave me life, I didn't have that. So I guess the disconnect from that, it doesn't make sense to me because calling somebody every 5 minutes or relying on your mom or your dad to assist you in your thought process
Yeah, it's kind of
is a lot for me because that means that you're so codependent on your parents that sometimes you can't even think for yourself because you're like, well, maybe I should do this, but let me call my parents first.
Let me call my mom
Yeah,
and see if she paid my
that
car
depends
insurance.
on like the degree or the
Yes.
frequency with which it happens. Like obviously, if your father is business savvy, your mother's business savvy, and you go to them for advice on something like that, then that
That's
makes
different.
sense. Like,
Yes.
and I understand that.
Yeah.
But if you're like, yo, I don't know, like,
If I should make my bed today or not.
or like, you know, like, should I make chicken or beef? Like, let me call my mom. Like, then, like, that's some shit you got to figure out, like, yourself. You know, I get that.
Why your relationships ain't working because you keep calling your mom every 5 fucking minutes. Call your girl.
Listen, and I'm not in the competition. I'm not going to compete with your mom. If you're in your 40s or your 50s and I got to compete with your parents or your mom, I'm not doing it.
No.
I'm not doing it because if I come and I cook and I do all this other stuff and I make sure you're straight and I care and blah, 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 I'm not competing with your parents. I'm sorry, I'm not going to do it because at 40 and 50, regardless if you have been dependent on your parents for the decision, unless it's a real life, like like you were saying, P, like a real business type of conversation, like, okay, I'm about to buy this real estate property. My father's in real estate, or my mother's a real estate attorney, or whatever the case may be, and that is their forte. I'm not going to have that conversation. Like if it's, okay, should I wear a coat today? Like if you're so dependent on them, like you can't think beyond your first thoughts, I can't do it. I'm not going to do it. But back to the topic at hand. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was gonna say, what if it's someone who like goes to you a lot? Like, what if it's like things that you're like, you should know what to do here, but they go to you and not to their parent?
Meaning, like
they, instead of calling their mom up or their dad up to help them out, they're calling you up instead. Like, yo, I don't know.
I feel like
annoying.
okay,
It's
so
annoying.
no, but let me tell you the difference, right? I feel like at some point you got to respect your significant other's opinion, right? So I feel like when I'm dealing with someone, maybe if I do have the answer, maybe I do know where I'm supposed to go a direction, right? Maybe I'm asking just off of the strength that I want to respect who you are to my life, right? But
that's understandable.
But this is the difference, right? You make them more accountable than their mother or their father. Mm-hmm. If they're so dependent on their mother or their father for their opinion or how to take the next step in life or how to make this next move, that means they're not making them accountable. That means they're pacifying them. They are coddling them into the decision that needs to be made. As the significant other, no, like, okay, babe, you want to know the answer to this question? Okay, what is your thought behind it? Let's process what you have already played out in your mind. And what do you think is the best decision? And then we go from there. It's a conversation piece. It's not, I'm just going to continue to give you the answer. It's like you're in school, right? And your teacher says, everybody raise their hand. Who can answer this question? And then the teacher's like, well, you know what? I'm just going to give you the answer. Just going to give you the answer. Just going to give you the answer. If that's what your parents are doing, then they are crippling you in life.
Absolutely.
Because what are you going to do when you're in a job interview? Call your mom, your dad? You can't. You have to make those quick decisions for yourself, right? And sometimes when you do that and you continue to pacify your child when they become an adult, then it hinders them from being great, right? And allowing them to come into their own person because they're so dependent on what you have to say or your opinion.
So yeah, no, I coincide with that with my experience in the few gentlemen maybe who I come across that are very like seeming codependent, kind of like it's almost like I'm the next woman in their life. What do you think? Should I?
I'm still waiting for this apartment number.
I'm like,
knock, knock, knock. Maintenance is here. I'm here to tune your pipes.
Tune them.
Anyways.
Okay, so let me ask this question. Are you going? Okay, so you have a weekend, right? One weekend, you're away, the opportunity, whatever. This is fantasy, is not realistic. Okay, so anybody that has significant others, X, Y, and Z, it's not a real answer.
It's still not going.
You guys already know that I'm not going to answer certain kinds of questions. So
I know.
just saying.
Listen. So
I'm at that age. I'll answer.
It's a free weekend, right? Okay, so just say you get it. You get a pass for a weekend, right? A pass for the weekend. Are you going younger? Or are you going older?
I'm going whatever floats my boat.
It's not gonna be less than 30 for sure. Even 35 kind of makes me cautious.
Makes you cringe?
Makes me, a little cautious. Okay. Not cringe, but cautious.
Sarah.
Above 60s is also cautious, but again, it would have to depend on the person and their vibe that they're giving.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Davida.
I told you whatever floats my boat.
Okay, so listen, if I'm getting a whole weekend, I'm going younger. And I'm gonna tell you why.
I'm going older, fucking.
Let me tell you why. Because I feel like, all right, in my mind, I'm picturing both, right? One on the one side and one on the other side. And I'm picturing that if I have a weekend that's free, right, and I'm dealing with an older gentleman, he's going to treat me like a whole lady and he's going to wine and dine me and he's going to do all this other stuff, right? I need that in real life. Okay, so I need my significant other to wine and dine me and treat me like that in real life, right? But if I go younger, I'm thinking like, we're about to have a blast. I'm not getting no sleep. We about to turn up. I'm about to feel like I'm 20 again. Going older.
That feels tired. I'm tired.
I think I want to go older.
Yeah,
because
I'm with Vita now.
My hair is down.
I can't hang. Like my hair gonna be down, but I can't hang for no like. Not even I can't hang because you never know if that older guy wants to do all types of shit too. But
it's 11 o'clock.
I'm right.
I'm done. It's 11 o'clock. Why are you still wide awake? No,
yeah.
I'm not in retirement mode. So I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm going younger.
What's to say me wanting somebody older is put me in retirement mode?
They probably are. So what's the age bracket?
I told you like 50, 55. I ain't
No,
going
so
higher
that's
than
the
55.
weekend that you're spending with a 50,
A
55-year-old?
50-year-old, yeah, why the fuck not?
50-year-olds are still young. Like they're still
No,
like.
Listen, I'm not
They
saying
are.
that they're not. I'm not saying that they're not.
It ain't like our day 50-year-olds.
Yes.
Look at her. I don't know. She been on one to dawn.
I'm not saying that
Listen,
they're old.
I just
'cause
want
I'm
to.
40,
I
about
want
to be
to
41.
advocate a little bit for our older crowd. Should we ever
Do
have
it.
any older fans?
Do it.
Like, please and thank you for joining and following
I want
us.
somebody older to spend the rest of my life with.
There you have it.
I'm in retirement mode.
Retirement, but with like young tendencies.
I'm riding roller coasters with the young boy. We're riding roller coasters.
She's older with young tendencies, so
Yeah, she's a hot
you can
mess.
be older but have young tendencies. But like be in
Yes,
bed,
because I'm a whole kid.
be in bed by
Caroline.
10 o'clock.
Okay.
Essentially, that's what I heard.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, okay.
And P is pleading the fifth.
Yes, she is definitely still on the fence.
Yeah. I'm not even.
You know what though? I don't even want to egg on P because I'm just in love with her whole like not newly found,
Her
but, like,
glow.
her glow, her new like what is engagement? Like you're still in the like, and I'm not gonna say it's never
Honeymoon
gonna.
phase.
Yeah, no, not even
Because she's not there yet.
that could last. No, I'm not even gonna jinx her
Oh.
like that. Like this could be, and from what I see, I feel like this is one of those rare relationships that just lasts in that honeymoon phase. That's just what I
I know.
perceive.
That's
And that's
definitely how it feels.
That's beautiful.
Okay,
and,
so
and that's
P,
what I see.
what's the age difference between you and your fiance?
We're the same age. It's just a couple months. It's just a few months.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
cute. That's cute.
And that doesn't happen often that people at the same age or at that place in their life.
That's
P,
what I'm doing wrong.
do
I need
you
a
mind-
4-year-old.
No, bitch. P, do you mind me asking how old you are, by the way?
I don't mind at all. I'm 35.
Okay. Beautiful age. Beautiful age. Getting engaged.
To start the family life. It's a perfect age.
Yeah, I'm actually really happy starting at this age.
No,
Yeah.
actually, it's
That
a
is a
really
perfect
perfect
age.
age. I'm not even being funny.
Yeah.
I'm being very serious. 35 is a good, solid age to start your family. If you want to have kids, that means you've enjoyed a portion of your life without having children, right? And now you're in a portion of your life now that you're like, I have my significant other. Now it's time to get married. Let's have children.
Yep. And
Now,
I,
how did
sure.
that plan not work out for me?
like,
Ileana, when
it just didn't work out the same for us. It's different for us. But people like P, the few occasions that I am aware of, they start at her age and then just blossom into this beautiful family and stay that way for years to come, which is amazing.
But
No,
I think it's also a thing of like maybe it's just been my experience, but I feel like in my 30s is when I've really like leaned into who I am and like really like know myself. I think leading up to my 30s, I was really just trying to figure out who I was, and we change and we grow so much within our relationships and the people that we date. And so it can be difficult to maintain those relationships because we are changing and we are growing and we are always to a degree, but I think especially at those ages we're really trying to form who we are as people, and while we're trying to figure ourselves out, we're also navigating these relationships with other people who are also trying to figure themselves out.
Right.
Perfect.
And so it can be really difficult to find that middle ground.
I
And-
feel like the older you get, the harder it is.
For me, I feel like at my age, because I'm really like learning to be unapologetically myself, and like I've learned to like who I am and love myself as a person, and I've kind of just like I have a pretty good idea of who I am and how I carry myself and my character and my opinions and feelings on things. And sure, that might change, but I'm confident, as opposed to when I was younger, like still just being unsure a lot of the time, thinking I feel a certain way or thinking I should feel a certain way. And I feel like because of where I'm at, I think that my partner was also kind of in that place in their life, and that's why it's worked out. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that at 35, that's the case for everybody.
Right.
That's just kind of been my lived experience.
No, and that's a perfect example because I think like as us having kids in our younger years. We were still figuring ourselves out still and raising children at the same time, and maybe dating and or maybe in relationships and or hoping for relationships. Like we were going through those, like exploring ourselves and figuring out who we
Shit,
are.
At 35, I was just breathing for the first
You
time.
know, like, and we've definitely had some moments where we're like, what the fuck am I doing? You know, and children having kids at the ages that we did can definitely, you know, have a I don't want to say like a
has an impact on
yeah,
how
I mean,
you-
it does. It does.
Sure.
You know,
It
and
doesn't
so
necessarily mean it's negative, but it can affect how your life goes.
exactly. And then you're also figuring this out with somebody or figuring it out without them. And it just like puts you through a whole loophole. So now like that our children are practically grown. Well, mines are fully grown. And then I know Sarah and Vita still have some up and coming growing children. Like we're but also being in our 40s now, we're at a place within ourselves where we're like, you know what, this is what I want, this is how I am, and this is what I'm okay with and what I'm not okay with. We didn't have the opportunity to really essentially fuck up and figure that out without kids.
So they got those fuck ups with us.
Right.
And they did, you know, and it didn't make them worse or you know, whatever. But I
It's
love
just what it was.
It is what it was. And I love that you're having the experience that you're having as well, because I feel like almost like it's healthier, but not to say that people that had children younger didn't have healthy relationships as well. We just had like the more
but you're young, like you're young, and then now you're just like becoming an adult. You're just figuring out that life. Like I struggled to get here, and I didn't have kids.
Right.
You know what I mean? So thinking about having to have been a parent and also have to take care of another life while trying to figure all that out, like that's a mountain to climb.
Yeah.
It felt like a mountain for me, and I was doing it on my own for myself. And Navita made the comment that at 35, she was just breathing. You guys essentially to some degree had to put off a little bit of the doing this self work and the self growing up, because you guys are like, I have to, like, I love my babies and I want to make sure these kids are good. And so I'm going to put a little bit of myself aside so I can make sure these kids are good.
Yeah, that definitely happens.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Yep.
And now it's kind of weird now that, like, for me, with my boys grown and not living with me anymore, like once the youngest one moved out, I was all of a sudden like, shit, what the fuck am I doing now?
Yeah.
Because my entire young life revolved around making sure they're okay, we're okay, and it was always about them.
My
And
kids are gonna be
I
annoying.
never thought about what I wanted to do. It was, and then once they were gone, I was like, oh shit, what the hell do I want to do?
My kids are out
do I
the house
care
and they
about?
got their own place, man, they gonna get sick of me. I swear I'm gonna go to their house every day, go in their refrigerator, leave food everywhere, not flush the toilet.
Listen, I'm not even gonna have an address. Let's be very clear. Listen, I love my children. I did my job as a mom. When my son graduates, I will not have an address, because I know that there's going to be another section of life where they may or may not have children. Like, I'm not going to wish things on them, right? So if they have children, they're going to look for a grandmother. Well, I'm going to be that mobile grandmother. Okay?
Yeah, she a
You
mobile
may or may not be able to find me. I may or may not be on the beach. Like, I love my children. I'm going to check in. I'm going to do all of that. But these are your children now.
Can I just say?
And so, like, I know what to do with myself when they're done. Okay. I'm going to go and enjoy life without any type of reservation or holding back or having to worry if I have to show up to a basketball game, or I have to worry if I have to do this.
You're showing up to the games, Sarah. I know you're showing up to those games.
Yeah, you are.
You don't want to feel obliged.
No,
you don't want to feel obliged or like you have to, or like you don't have a choice.
Yeah.
You're going to go because it comes naturally to you to want to be there.
No,
but if the expectation is there.
When they're done, what I'm saying is when they're done, I don't have to show up to any more games because they're done playing, is what I'm saying. So now at this point, no, I'm gonna be on somebody's cruise. What the hell are we talking about? I gotta live beyond this. This is why
Sarah's tired.
No, this is why I'm saying this is why it's necessary not to be so dependent on your parents, because
You can have a parent that just want to check the fuck out as soon as you walk across stage.
no, I'm not saying that at all because
just-
my daughter still lives with me and I still love her very dearly, right?
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is when you're so dependent on them, they need you to be close by. I don't want to answer 50 million questions. I need you to learn how to live life without me. So it's not about what, not wanting to be a part of their life or not loving them or not doing whatever, but
It's a lesson.
it's a life lesson.
sure.
Like,
For sure.
am I supposed to guide you until the day I die?
Hold my hand.
Hell no.
Hold my hand.
Hell no.
Like I definitely think it's like one of those things where you're like, look, if you need me, and like it's on some like it's on some like it's on some major shit, then that's different, right?
Right.
Like, but you're like, I don't want to feel a sense
No,
of responsibility to have to watch anybody or do nothing. Like I did my parenting, and if I'm going to be a grandparent, it's because I'm leaning into enjoying the company of my grandchildren.
I'm that type of grandparent. I hope I'm not the type of grandparent that wants your kid all the time. I feel like I'm going to be the one to be like, okay, yeah, I don't want to be that grandmother. Like
I think if you're thinking about that now, just get better at putting up those boundaries with your children. Like you have to.
I'm gonna call and be like, when you coming to pick up your child? It's been 3 years.
I've already.
Don't get me wrong. I want to be in the room when my daughter delivers, right?
Mhm.
I want to be there for the first couple weeks, month, or whatever when she first has her child, because I understand the importance of being able to get sleep and all of that. But I'm gonna pray and hope that she's married by the time she has kids, and she learned her lesson from me. Don't have children without a husband or without a support system, right? Don't do it. I'm against it. You know what I'm saying? So the realistic part about it is that I hope that she has a wonderful significant other, husband that will support and help her with her children.
The whole package.
However,
It's
I still want to be there for my daughter
Not
because I
necessary.
love her, and I'm still her mother, and I want to be there for my grandchildren. But no, I don't want to be that grandmother where you just drop them off at my doorstep.
Yeah.
Listen,
I'm looking.
I want to come get them, and we go on a trip, and then I bring
and we bring them back. I'm looking
I don't
forward
know
to
about
being
taking
a
them on a trip.
grandmother. Honestly, I'm looking forward to it. I'm at the my kids are at the age that I technically could be a grandmother any day. It's not happening right now, but it could happen. But I already have a grandma name for myself.
Oh, what's your grandma name?
Grandmasaurus Rex. I already have the T.
I'm gonna be honest, that might be a little bit difficult. For
That's
you.
a lot for.
Yeah, that's fine.
Mama Rex.
Yeah, that's fine.
They're just gonna call you Rex. That's what's gonna happen.
And that's
Hey,
fine.
Rex.
They can call me Mammy.
I already have the T-Rex costumes I'm going to purchase for us to wear around when their parents leave us alone.
My head too big.
Well, we'll already have them, so we can just gift them to you because we're gonna get them for my birthday.
Yeah.
Oh yes, that would be perfect.
We're doing a whole little skit.
My kids are
Yes.
going to hate me.
Wait, do I need to buy something? Go ahead.
So
Just
listen.
follow up. Just follow. My kids are going to hate me as a grandmother. Like
No,
when
mine
I-
are gonna love me.
when
My
I
kids are gonna hate me, but my grandkids are gonna.
That's what
love
I'm talking
me.
about. My
grandkids gonna be
kids are going to
embarrassed. They gonna
hate
love
me when I return their children back to them. They'll be like, "Ma, here go my boys. Ma, what'd you do to my kids? Nothing. Here go your babies. Have a great weekend.
They're gonna be
baby.
like, I want to go to the house.
I want to go to see Grandma's Rex.
Okay, so listen, for my birthday, we're gonna act like dinosaurs. We're gonna get blow up dinosaurs, and we're gonna do a whole little skit. You need a skateboard or a scooter, and you need a dinosaur blow up.
Okay, so that's in
Yeah,
person.
yeah, yeah.
It doesn't have to be here. Okay, I
No.
thought it was on the podcast.
No, we're gonna do it on the podcast. It's gonna be a skit.
I have a skate right here.
Okay,
Yo.
so listen, we appreciate
Thank
you guys
you for
tuning in.
joining.
It's a whole
No,
nother
the nails are
final.
sharp.
Actually, this will be like our real official live because you'll see another video. However,
GM.
this is really our first official live on YouTube.
Yay!
Let's go.
Yay!
So till next time.
Until next
We
time.
love you guys. Make sure you tune
Bye.
in, follow us on Instagram, Come As You Are, and make sure you turn on the notifications so you can follow us every week. We'll be here with you. You'll be here with us. And we love you.
Okay, yes. Our Instagram is a Come As You Are pod.
Yeah, that's true.
Make sure you
that
follow
part.
us on there. And on our Instagram bio, there is our link tree so you can tune into all our different things.
Thank you, Paula.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes. All of that.
Deuces.
that note, happy Wednesday and good evening, good night, sweet dreams.
Bye.
Hold someone tight. Bye.